Hi, good morning. Good morning, good to have you here. Okay, so I have a door that is not closed properly. Now that is fixed. Okay, so yesterday we talked about money and the game of light. Money and the game of light. Money and the game of light. And yesterday I explained to you how to link the issue of light when it comes to money to the other things that I have been teaching you. You know, I remember that I mentioned something about the doings of the money maker and then the speed of the money maker. And I told you that the speed of the money maker is in execution. Tammy Angela, good morning. You're the first person to join online this morning. That's quite interesting. Okay. All right. So so you have this thing called the speed of the money maker. Good morning. Good morning. The speed of the money maker. And I explained to you that the speed of the money maker, the speed of the person who will make lots of money, the kind of money that you call self-actualization, the kind of money that is the kind of money for your destiny, like all that you could ever make, becoming all that you could ever become, succeeding all that you could ever succeed. I told you that that kind of money can only be made by certain people who have certain speed. And I explained to you that the speed is in execution. That the speed is in execution. You find something that you want to do, you do it. Okay? Those are the kind of people who will make the money of their life. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no alternative. Execution. Execution. Ideas are dime a dozen. Execution is the thing. Execution is the real deal. And I now explain to you that what you call execution is the highest proof of knowledge. Execution is the highest proof of knowledge. Execution is the highest form of learning. So you learn by doing. You learn by doing. So it means that once you begin to execute, you are proving that you know, and you are having speed, which means that as you do, you learn, and then you do, and then you learn. Eventually what happens is that you are doing something and you know more than most other people on that thing. Cynthia, been a while, good to have you. Been a while. So yesterday I told you, I said light is an external factor. Okay, light is an external factor, and I explained to you that what you see as light, if you look at nature, the whole planet, for example, is powered by sun, the sunlight, not necessarily the heat, but the light. Of course, with the light comes the heat, but if you can block the light, you will block the heat. That is why that's why if you stay under a tree and under a shadow, is cool. All right. Okay. So, and I explained to you that the whole earth, for example, is powered by that sunlight. All right. Don't worry now. Sit there on the page. You can always, go watch it. And don't worry. This will be made available to everybody. All right. So, and I explained to you that, for example, the whole world is powered by the sunlight. And I explained to you that even as big as the sunlight is powered, as big as sunlight is, it is still specific. For example, every time you have daylight here in this half hemisphere, the other half hemisphere, they are in the dark, which means that light is always a specific thing, no matter how big it is. The biggest source of light is the sun. Physical light, for example, is the sun, and it's still specific to half hemispheres. Okay, all right. Which tells you that your own light, for example, will be specific to you. And I decided to teach you guys how to look at light differently. If you see light as only sunlight from above, and then your headlamp as another kind of light, and the bulb in your room as light, and your phone touch light as light, if those are the only ways that you see light, that means you are looking at light the way majority of people are looking at light. And I've explained to you that if you don't want to have the result of the majority, you must see differently. That is why today we are talking about a game of sight. That's why I want to teach you how to see differently. That's why I want to teach you how to see differently, okay? So I went further yesterday to explain to you that your fourth set of light comes from the people who love you. So people are used to taking people's love for granted. That is how to define wickedness. And one of the other things that you also define wickedness as is dark. If you say, yeah, this person has moved to the dark side, you are saying that this person is now wicked. So if I say this person has moved to the dark side, you are saying this person is now wicked, which means that the person does not have light, or which means that the person is taking the universe love for granted. Okay? IBM Properties, you're welcome. Which means that this person is taking the universe love for granted. So, and I explained to you how the universe, how God, for example, will always keep deep secrets in open places so that people use it but they can't find it. So if somebody were to lose a loved one, for example, or somebody was depressed for whatever reason, you will find people sending messages to the person. Secondary or 90, you're welcome. You will find people sending message to the person to say, how are you there? I am sending you love and light. I am sending you love and light. This person who lost somebody. So you don't say, I am sending you somebody. You say, I am sending you love and light. Yemi, you're welcome. Why do you say, I am sending you love and light? Why do you say, I am sending you love and light? You are saying, I am sending you love and light because you understand that what that person is missing, or what that person is actually losing or has lost by the virtue of losing that person, is love and light. That's why you say, I am sending you love and light, because you understand that when a person loves you, what person gives you is light, illumination, love, energy. Let me show you something. It's really interesting. Okay, so if you have watched the movie Avatar, not the movie, the cartoon Avatar, okay, I think that one, there's this Fire Lord son. I don't remember his name, you know, people who remember. There's this Fire Lord son who had this scar on his face, you know. I think it was his father that burnt him or something like that, okay. And they had this fierce sister. Do you remember what happened after a while? He couldn't find fire again. Why? Because the first set of fire that he had was fueled from hatred. And as the hatred was disappearing, so was his will to have fire. Okay? Now, he had to go to the source of the where the dragons that are the source of fire, where they were, and he understood that you can now get fire, fresh fire, from love, and that's the kind of fire that don't hurt. That's the kind of fire that can fix things. That is what light means. Now, people who will do well, let me tell you something. You don't understand. People don't understand these things. How when you meet a person who has low level of love, you will not understand why the person is not successful, or whether when the person is successful, it looks as if the person is miserable. You understand why people are miserable even though they have money? They are tired. They're looking tired because they do not have love. Let me show you. Let me explain it to you so that you can understand. Peter Bless, you're welcome. Peter Bless, you're welcome. All right. So I'm thinking that Peter Bless has been really consistent. I don't think there's a day. Crown Footwear, you're welcome. I don't think there's a day that Peter Bless has missed. So maybe Peter Bless will be the one to win this week's Suya money. Let's see as it goes. Okay, let's see as it goes. All right. So I wanted to show you something. You know, I want to show you something about how when people have love, they do well. There's this story of this popular basketballer in US. Okay, this guy went to break a lot of records and did really awesomely well. Okay, so this is what happened to him. Okay, so he was in his dormitory. Okay, and he was bored, you know, like maybe people were on break and he couldn't travel, and he thought long time ago, and he thought, let me go and call my mom. No, my grandmother. Let me call my grandmother. And then he decided to call his grandmother. And then when he was calling his grandmother, you know, the way it was then is that it's not cell phone or you know, things like this. The way it was then is that when you put a call through to that person, the person will receive, and when the person receives, the person is the one who will pay for the bill. So you say, hello, this is operator something. There's a call coming from Kinikon College, patch through to Mrs. Kinikon. Would you like to take this call? Actually, if you are the one placing the call, you'll be hearing that conversation. And then so this young man was hearing this conversation. He was in high school. He was hearing this conversation. And then his grandmother said, no, I won't take this call. I cannot take this call. No, please, I will not take this call. Now, this boy knows 1,000,000% that his grandmother loved him. But the grandmother did not have money to receive his grandson's call. She did not have money to receive her grandson's call. So, this boy knew how heartbroken he was, and he also knew how heartbroken his grandmother would have been not to be able to talk to her grandson, whom she loved with everything. And then in his own words, he said, that day he decided that he was going to be successful. That day, he decided that he was going to be successful. And then he went on to play basketball. He said that he would train. He would train. Everybody will be saying it's okay. He will say, no, it's not okay. Why is it not okay? Because he felt love from his grandmother. He felt like this love that my grandmother has for me cannot suffer like this. Whatever in this world can make my grandmother not be able to put a call through to me or receive a call and put it through to me because of $1. And then he thought, no. So when with light comes energy, okay, and your first set of light is from your loved ones. People love you. There is nobody who does not have people who love them. There is nobody. It's either your mom or your father or your siblings or your cousins. Some people are rooting for you like their life depends on it. Take that energy and put it to work. Take that energy and put it to work, because that affords you to get up. That affords you to get up every time. That affords you to stay longer when people are dozing off and people are tired. That helps you to go longer. And let me tell you, for everybody who goes further and go longer, of course, they succeed better. Is proven. It is proven. It is scientific fact. Okay? So yesterday I told you that about light. All right? Very, very good. Very, very good. So today I want to tell you about sight. I want to tell you about sight because you see, I explained to you that yesterday. I explained to you that this thing that you call perception has two factors. There is light, and then there is sight. There is light, which is mostly external, and then there is light. And then there is sight, which is internal. Light is external, sight is internal. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, right now I am in Abuja. I'm parked by the roadside, and this is a car stand in front of me. You can see this car stand. Okay, plenty cars for sale here. For sale here, right? Okay, good. Now these cars are right here. These cars are right here in front of me. Okay. Now, if there was no light, which is an external thing, for example, if there was no light, which is an external thing, I will not be able to see these cars. So let's assume that it was 3 a.m. at night and there was no street light. There was no sunlight, of course. There's no sunlight in the night. And then let's assume that they took light. I will not be able to see all of these cars. The real John Agbo, you're welcome. I will not be able to see all of these cars. Okay? Why? Is it because those cars are not there? No, the cars are there, but there is no light for me to see them. All right? Very, very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Now, flip it. Flip the script. Okay? Flip the script. Flip the script. The script is that, let's assume that there was light. It is 12 noon in the afternoon. Of course, there's plenty of light at 12 noon. Okay? And then, let's assume that there's something wrong with the person's retina, which is the sensor to receive images for your eyes that sends to your brain. I will still not be able to see these cars. Even though there is light outside and the cars are there, I still will not be able to see it. Which means that for you to have sight, you need light, external, and then you need sight, internal. Both of those factors have to be present. And I now explained to you yesterday as well that, you see, light begets clarity. Clarity begets speed. Light begets clarity. Clarity begets speed. Okay? No matter what. Okay? Alright. So now let me tell you about sight today. Let me tell you about sight today. You see, let me tell you, people don't understand that sight is very, very important. Okay, now I saw something long time ago. I think it was Pastor Koju on a quote, and he said that everything that you are seeing, there are more ways to see it than you are seeing it. So if you put a paper in front of me, the smallest mind may see a paper, okay? The biggest of the minds will see a lot of things just looking at the paper. There is physical light, and then there is the object in front of you. Then sight differs from individuals to individuals. What you want to do is that you want to make sure that your own sight is whole. W-H-O-L-E. You want to make sure that your own sight is whole. Your own sight is whole. Your sight has to be whole. Okay? Your sight has to be whole. Let me bring it home for you. Let me bring it home for you. Okay, you have had this saying. You have had this saying when they say that the person will make money if he solves the problem. Right? Okay, they said, why are you not making money? It's because you're not solving the problem. Solve a problem and make a lot of money. Solve a problem and make a lot of money. Okay. So there's a problem. Problems are always popular, right? The solutions that are scarce. Problems are always popular. Very good. Now, if problems are popular and solutions are scarce, why? Because everybody can see the problem, but not everybody can see the solution. Everybody can see the problem, not everybody can see the solution. Why? Because the problem always presents the solution. The problem always presents the solution. For example, if you are to solve a problem, what you need to do is to look at the problem. But when 1,000 people look at the problem, maybe only 10 people will be able to find solution to the problem. Why? Why will 1,000 people look at the problem and only 10 will be able to provide solution? Sight. The 10 people who are able to provide solutions are the 10 people who can see clearer, better, further, deeper, wider. Those are the people who can solve the problem. Solving a problem is always a function of sight, which is called a function of perception, which is an internal thing. Always going to be an internal thing. Which means that your job is to train yourself to see better. Your job is to train yourself. So when you look at a thing from at least maximum 7 ways, minimum of 3 ways. But you see, it's better for you to see things in at least 7 ways. Okay? Always look at the thing. When you see something and look at it like that, say, okay, this is number 1 way to see it. And then look at it, and then this is number 2 ways to see it. For example, if I was looking at something now physically, you are looking at things in 3D because you can see the length and the breadth and the depth of that thing. Okay? So most people see in 3D. Okay? Now, if you are to have X-ray eyes, you will not only see in 3 dimensions, you will see in almost 4 dimensions, because you will see around and then you will see through. Okay? And then you will see through. So that should give you an example of what 4-dimension sight looks like. Okay? Now, imagine that you are now able to, for example, see with infrared, not just X-ray, which is to see through. Imagine that you are also able to see its signatures. What that means is that you are able to see the energy spot in that thing. Which means that if you were to be looking for a problem as to why that thing is cold, you understand what was supposed to be the energy source of that thing. Okay? So this is what it means. For example, let's assume that you saw a car that was not moving. Alright? And they said, just look at it. Because mostly, Jupiter Lego, you're welcome. Mostly people can't enter into problems. For example, you can't enter into a problem. It's not like a car that you can just open the bonnet. Let's assume that the car was a problem, for example, and this car right now has a problem. And wondering what the problem is. So you can see around the car, front and back. Alright? Because the car has glass, you can see into the seat. Okay, but you can't see into the bonnet of the car. But if you can sense on its signatures, you can sense, okay, the engine is in front. Other people will be looking for where the engine is, and some say maybe the engine is on the side mirror, maybe the engine is by the door, maybe the engine is on the boot, maybe the engine is on the tire. Stop by here, you're welcome, good to have you. Okay? And then you can see that, oh, wow, the engine is in front. And then if you look back and say, oh, okay, it's not just the engine, the engine is not just the wires. Okay, this is where combustion happens. And then you can say, okay, this particular piston is not moving. All right? So the idea is that when they say that you make a lot of money by solving problems, there is nobody who is going to solve problems with limited sight. Nobody is going to solve problems with limited sight. You need insight, you need foresight, you need hindsight. You need complete sight. You need complete sight to be able to see and solve problems. Now, the good thing about all of this is that anybody can have good sight. Anybody can have a complete sight. The way you were made, I don't remember what I was teaching at the particular time. I was telling you that the human mind or the human body, a person is a complete work of art. A person is the best level of creation. There is no way. For example, if you had a computer and the computer had problem, you would have to upgrade the system. Okay? You would have to upgrade the system. To upgrade the system, you have to go and get a software somewhere and then log it in, and then the system will work better as long as the hardware is okay, right? Good. Now imagine that the human mind, the human person, imagine that the human person is like a computer, except this computer now can always write the codes that will fix it. So it means that if there was something that you are lacking, all you need is the information of that thing that you're lacking. So let's say, okay, somebody says, I don't have this thing. As long as they tell you you don't have this thing, that means that you could go get it. Like you could create that thing immediately. Do you understand what I mean? So that's a very good thing about the human person. So, and I explained to you yesterday that the other source of light, for example, is to read books, is to see other people's light, is to receive other people's light. For example, if somebody loved me so much that it propelled me to do something like writing a book, the moment you also read that book, you would also be getting the same love that I got, because now it is in book. And that is the power of replication. I remember when I was telling you about growth, about how replication is the highest level of growth. Okay? Good. So this morning, this is what you will do. Okay? This is what you need to internalize this morning. You have to understand that when something presents itself to you, there are more ways to see that person. Usually, ego, pride, and false confidence would allow you not to see, but you must go beyond your ego. You must go beyond your pride, and if you go beyond those two things, you begin to see better. And as you see better, you will be able to solve the problem. So whatever it is around you, whatever thing that you want to do, whatever thing is presented in front of you, even if it was your finances, even if you have a problem with your finances, you can solve that problem. You just need to see it different. You just need to see it better. Thank you much, everybody. Wow, today was pretty intense. Thank you so much. It was good to have you guys. So good to have you guys. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you big time. And then I see you guys doing great stuff. Truly, I see you guys doing great stuff. I am with you. You know me now. I'm very, very invested in this. I believe very strongly in you guys. Thanks so much for joining the live today. I beg to take my leave. I will see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful time. Bye. Okay, so yes. So what is today's task? Today's task is to say write this out for yourself, maybe in your jotter. There are at least 7 ways to see anything. Write it out. There are at least 7 ways to see anything. Let me tell you, when you begin, you may not see it in 7 ways. You may just see it in 1 way, or maybe it's 2 ways and 3 ways. No problem. The fact that your mind knows that there are more, your mind will receive more. Do you understand? So, right on your mirror, there are at least 7 ways to see one thing. There are at least 7 ways to see one thing. Once you internalize this, begin to see differently, which means that you're able to solve problems. This is how people become magicians. I'm telling you, this is how people become magicians. This is how people say, that guy is different. That guy is different. Have you seen? I like that guy. He sees things very differently. Wow. Have you been with him? Because that's what's going to start reflecting how you talk. It's going to start reflecting in what you say because you see differently. Okay. All right. Alrighty. So that's your task for today. Write it out somewhere. Internalize this. There are at least 7 ways to see one thing.